Welcome to Spectator Sporting. I'm Zachary Roach, along with my main man, Adi Wally. What's going on?
I'm all good, bro.
Man, we got two big-time guests in the building. We got my main man, Dante, number 7. What's going on, Dante?
Hey, man, glad to be back.
And we got our Bears aficionado, Mr. Boone Apollo. What's going on, Boone?
I'm all good, bro.
Alright, that's what's up today. We got a big show. We're doing a Bears review. They are 5-1 through 6 games, and we're going to talk about that. Make sure you go on Spectator Sporting YouTube page. We got the previous show, previous clips, and much more. Also go to spectatorsporting.com. My man Adi has written some dope articles on there, so go ahead and check it out. This is episode number 58. We're going to call it the Roquan Smith edition because he's having a big season this year. No doubt about it. Now let's talk about it. Before we get into mid-season review, Dante, I'm going to start with you. What was your biggest takeaway from the Bears and Panthers game?
You know what? My biggest takeaway was pretty much overall, to simplify it, is that the Bears defense is still dominant. It's still a great defense. I think, for the last few games, everybody was just kind of wondering, is defense kind of slacking off a little bit? Maybe it's not the same as 2018, and maybe it's not the same. It can't carry the team anymore. But we definitely showed up. We held the Panthers to just 16 points, and they had a really, really good offense going. So we still ranked right now. We ranked 6 in points per game, giving up right now. So to answer that question, pretty much just the Bears, we still got a dominant defense.
Absolutely. The Bears defense, especially the last 2 games, they have really picked it up. Adi, what was your biggest takeaway from the game between the Bears and Panthers?
Well, you know what? Before this Panthers game and even before the season, I was very concerned about the Bears' run defense without Eddie Goldman opting out because of the COVID-19 and everything like that. Then we saw Adrian Peterson and Todd Gurley had very good games against that Bears run defense. And then Ronald Jones for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The man had 117 yards against the Bears before they played the Carolina Panthers. And the former Bear, Mike Davis, he was on fire before this game in Carolina. The man was averaging 5.4 yards per carry. He had 86 yards per game in the previous 2 games, but it was just very encouraging to see the Bears front 7 put an end to that. And one very underrated reason is the return of the nose tackle, John Jenkins. He came back. He had a thumb injury. He's a big guy. He's about 10 pounds bigger than Eddie Goldman. Not as talented, but he can clog up the middle in there. And Bilal Nichols, he had his best game of the season, and he held Mike Davis to only 2.9 yards per carry. Very encouraging defense, run D for the Bears. Now, what put Carolina in a lot of obvious passing situations. That's what happened with the Bears. They put them in obvious passing situations. They had 4 sacks on Teddy Bridgewater and 6 quarterback hits. In the previous 2 games, Teddy Bridgewater was sacked 0 times. And so that pressure really threw him off. And how about Roquan Smith? Right, this guy, he showed up. Teddy Bridgewater threw a nice little screen pass to the backup running back, Cannon. And it was Roquan Smith. He got off the block from the left guard, got off him and tackled the running back for a loss all by himself, no help at all. The man is number 5 in the NFL in tackles this season. The man is trying to be a first ballot Pro Bowler, okay? And so then you get Eddie Jackson, big hit on Mike Davis to cause the fumble, and I was hoping that Akeem Hicks let Eddie Jackson recover that fumble and scoop and score but I can't get mad at Akeem Hicks for recovering the fumble, but I was hoping Eddie Jackson got it so he can run it in for a touchdown, because I didn't want to see the offense get back on the field, and the offense got back on there, and very next play, Nick Foles throws an interception to Jeremy Chin, the 2nd-round rookie from Southern Illinois University. He got the pick and everything like that. And then you got the 3rd and 2 situation, Matt Nagy at the end of the game, 1 minute 45 seconds to go, and the Bears should just run the ball. David Montgomery's not in the game, takes him out the game, and then an incomplete pass to Allen Robinson. So the Panthers have a timeout in their pocket to try to tie the game. But Robert Quinn, big pressure on Teddy Bridgewater, calls the interception. DeAndre Houston Carson ends the game with the interception. That's 2 weeks in a row. Houston Carson came through for the Bears against Tom Brady. He deflected the pass to end the game, made Tom Brady look very confused. He thought it was he had another down going on. Houston Carson, 6th-round pick, 2016 came through. The defense dominated.
Absolutely. Both hit it on the money. The defense dominated, no question. Boom. What's your thought? What was your thoughts after watching that Carolina Bears game?
Watching that Carolina Bears game, once again, my thoughts was the Bears offense is the same old Bears offense. Very pedestrian. Not putting no points on the board. Going into this game, we thought the Carolina defense was going to give up some points. Everybody said the Bears were going to score at least 30 points, 26 or 30 points. And then, lo and behold, when they scored, was that 21?
23.
23 points.
23.
So, with good field position, so only 23 points of defense, giving the Bears offense a good field position. So, my thoughts coming from the game was that the Bears offense is the same old pedestrian, bottom of the totem pole offense.
Absolutely. The offense still has a lot of work. But the one stat that the Bears are really dominant at, you said they were number 6. They're number 1 in red zone defense. They've only given up touchdowns on 36.36% of all the plays in the red zone. So that's where they have really showed their dominance, is on the defensive side in the red zone. The offense still a work in progress, but we'll see how that goes on. No question about that. We just talked about the Carolina game, and I think everybody across the board said their defense is back. I mean, it may not be 2018, but they're back to playing some really good ball. But the other side of the ball is still a problem. So, Boom, tell me what's going on? What are your thoughts about the Bears' struggling offense?
Well, you know what? I can always see the silver lining in things. So, think about this Bears offense for the first 6 games. I was kind of high on the interior offensive lineman. I really liked Cody Whitehair, what he was doing. I liked James Daniels, though he's out for the whole season. And I liked Jermaine Irfetti coming in from Seattle Seahawks, coming in at guard. He played most of his career at tackle, and he was looking pretty bad, but at guard, I think he could be real serviceable. And so, with Ryan Pace coming from the New Orleans Saints style of offense, you want to have a good interior guards and centers. And I thought that the Bears' offensive interior was real good, and it was really showing how horrible the tackles was. I mean, over and over again, you saw James Leno Jr. giving up sacks, getting beat, and even the other guy, number 70, Bobby Massey was looking pretty raggedy in comparison to the interior O-line. So even though the Bears were struggling, I thought the interior line was doing pretty good, and I was really high on them for the first 6 games.
Yeah, the offensive line has definitely been the weak point. There's no question about that. Dante, tell me what's going on with the Bears offense. What's their biggest issue right now in their offense?
Man, you know what? I'm going to start with play calling. I definitely want to start with play calling. Sometimes, the play calling gets too pedestrian, gets too, everybody knows what we're going to do pretty much. We're running, on first down. And, not switching it up, not doing play action on 1st and 10. The other thing is, I don't like what we do sometimes. We get into short yardage situations and we line up in shotgun. It's 3rd and 1, it's 3rd and 2. I mean, we got Nick Foles in shotgun handing it off 5 yards back when, all we need is a couple yards. But the other thing I want to expound upon with the offense is the wide receivers. The wide receivers, man. The wide receiving core, besides Allen Robinson, we don't have anybody else that we can pretty much rely on. The second leading receiver, we just talking about receptions, is Mooney. Is Darnell Mooney, the rookie, who's got 18 catches, and then Anthony Miller, who we're really depending on, who we thought was going to give us a lot more this year. He only had 16 receptions, so. This wide receiving core overall, we really have luck to got a young guy in the draft to challenge Robinson to be a solid number 2 guy. But between the play caller and the wide receivers, we're struggling right now.
Can I ask, what is wrong with Miller? It's like, I feel like something wrong with his football IQ. Because, first he was running the wrong routes, different depth. I'm talking about last year. Different depth, wrong depth. And then now he's dropping the ball. He's getting phased out by Moody. And I'm just real disappointed. Miller had to step up. And what's going on with Javon Williams on the bench, and we got the brother,
Riley Ridley
on the bench. I mean, come on now. So we got receivers with I had expectations for.
Darnell Mooney took Anthony Miller's spot.
Darnell Mooney has actually been pretty good.
I like
Mooney.
surprisingly.
Yeah, he's been pretty good.
I like Moody, but what's going on with Ridley and Williams? They got to step up and get some playing time. And even we got from the
Ted Ginn Jr.
Ted Ginn Jr.
They need to get rid of Ted Ginn Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather see Javon Williams and Riley.
I feel like Williams should get more playing time. I feel like when he's in the game, he makes the catches and stuff. Like I feel like Anthony Miller, it ain't got nothing to do with smarts now. It's just mental with him. He's getting open. He's getting open. He's got 2 game-winning touchdowns this year. Right. But he's getting open. But even when he catches the ball, it's still like a little bobble. He's just not catching the ball.
Yeah,
it's just something going on there. He's getting open.
His production in Memphis was off the chain.
Yeah.
And that's why I was high on Miller, because he was the leading receiver in Memphis. He kind of ran his choice routes where he can, read the defense and do his own route based off the defense. And so you thought he would have a high IQ. But, it is not transferring over to the NFL and the big boys.
And the Bears traded up to get in the second round to draft Anthony Miller, too. They gave up some draft capital to trade up to get him.
Ryan Pace love to give up picks for people. No question. Adi, you ask, what's going on with the Bears offense?
Well, you know what? Before this Chicago-Carolina game, the Panthers was the 8th worst team in the NFL in yards allowed per attempt and rushing yards allowed per attempt and rushing yards allowed per game. Okay, and so they was also missing their best defensive lineman, K'Wan Short. He was out, and still David Montgomery 3.1 yards per carry on 19 carries. I don't know what's to happen. I was really thought this was the game for them to bust out. All right, and they didn't do it. And then you get Cordero Patterson. He's not a running back. I'm sorry. I'm tired of seeing it, man. I'm tired of seeing this Cordero Patterson running back stuff. It doesn't work. It's not going to happen. All right. Then we talked about it. James Daniels. He's out for the season. So then you got his backup, Rashad Coward. He's not good. He's not a good backup. The Bears, they have the trade deadline is November the 3rd. They need to go ahead and make a trade. Look at these teams that's trying to tank for Trevor. Trade them like a 4th or 5th round pick or something like that, maybe a 6th round pick, and try to get an offensive guard here with the Bears. If you can't make a trade, you got to sign somebody because we can't deal with Rashad Coward there at left guard. And then we need to see J.P. Holtz at fullback, okay? Last year, J.P. Holtz played fullback. He's a tight end playing fullback, which I don't like, but he was effective. I think the Bears should have signed at fullback, just like the 49ers. They got the man youth check, that guy with the 49ers. He opens up a lot of holes for them. Go in the A gap, the B gap, hit the linebacker, create some lanes for David Montgomery. Okay, we're just doing the single back stuff. It's not working. Montgomery, your vision. His vision is off. All right, he gets the ball. Looks like a bat out of hell. He needs to have more patience and vision up in there in the hole, in the trenches. And then maybe they need to call up Artavis Pierce. Call that man up. All right, he's undrafted free agent. All right, he looked good. He's a rookie. He looked good in college. Maybe he can be a pleasant surprise for the Bears. They signed Lamar Miller. He used to play with the Texans. He had some 1,000-yard rushing seasons. Let's see what he got. He's on the practice squad. Will they call him up for the Rams game? I don't know. And I'm tired of seeing the backup, the number 2 tight end, Demetrius Harris. I had enough of that guy. I had enough. I need to see him on the bench. He needs to be 3rd string.
He dropped
oh my God. He had 3 targets, 2 drops, no catches. Okay. Then you got my man Cole Kmet. He had 2 targets, 2 catches and a touchdown. All right, what's happening here? Put Cole Kmet in there. Demetrius Harris, he got to go. And the Bears offense looked like they was playing in quicksand against a below average, mediocre Carolina Panthers defense. Okay. And the only way the Bears can score any points is if the defense or the special teams puts them in a short field. Yeah. And y'all Boone talked about this, Bobby Massey and especially Charles Leno Jr. They giving up so many quarterback pressures. They looking ridiculous out there. And we talk about where's Ted Ginn Jr., where's Anthony Miller, where's Riley Ridley and Javon Williams? Where are they? Are they on the COVID list or something? Did they catch coronavirus? I don't know where they at. And so, look, I gave up hope. I gave up hope for the Bears offense. Only thing I think they need to make a trade for a guard, get some fullback play in there. I gave up hope. I don't expect a damn thing from the Bears offense for the rest of the season.
Wow. Yeah, the Bears offense has been pretty pedestrian. I'm going to ask all y'all questions. I'm going to start with you, Dante. You're right. The offensive line, they need some work in the running back position. I'm not sold on David Montgomery. But let's talk. A couple weeks ago, the Bears made a huge move. They pretty much said, we are done with you, Mitch Trubisky. We're done. We're not having it no more. They put in Nick Foles. So since Nick Foles has stepped in and started running the offense, is it just the same thing, or have you noticed a difference between the two quarterbacks?
Well, yeah, I definitely have noticed a difference. Foles can get the ball downfield much more accurate than what Trubisky can. That's the biggest. That's the biggest thing. But Foles, he's very limited with his legs, so he's not going to do much outside the pocket. He's not going to get outside the pocket very much. So everything that he does is predicated on timing. Short throws, timing. And he has good accuracy down the field. So I think he is probably better predicated for the offense for what Nagy wants to do.
Yeah.
For the style that Nagy wants to run. So he is very streaky. Nick Foles is very streaky. He's got to make a free throw or two to get himself going. I think I said that before. Yeah, he's very streaky. But when he's on, he's on. But when he doesn't have it going, he looks very, very, very pedestrian. He looks like a bottom tier quarterback. when he doesn't got it going, you're just like, oh man, what the hell? But I think he give us the best chance to win right now.
Okay.
And I think we talked about this a little bit earlier. If he gets to the playoffs, you're gonna see him pick it up. He's a playoff kind of guy. Some players are just playoff type players. So if we do get into the playoffs with Nick Foles, he can get very hot.
Absolutely. Boom. Same question. What's your thought from the transition from Mitch Trubisky to Nick Foles?
Well, a lot of you guys are going to probably disagree with me with this. In particular, one play just really made me kind of like Nick Foles. And this was in the Carolina game. And even the people on the podcast probably is going to not agree with me, but he was getting rushed and he threw the ball up. He was getting rushed. He got hit on the pass, threw the ball up to Moody. And it was a just jump ball situation, and then the DB almost intercepted the ball, and Mooney played DB and knocked it out of DB hand. Yeah. But I like the fact that Nick Foles threw the ball up because that showed he's not scared. Mitch Trubisky is a very scared quarterback. Matt Nagy got mad at him all the time because he wasn't going to take them shots downfield. Mitch Trubisky did not throw the ball past 15, 18 yards for the first 2 games he was playing. And when Nick Foles just threw the ball up and gave Darnell Mooney a chance to get the ball, I was like, you know what? He's out here playing the game. You know what I mean? He's free-hearted and he's confident in his receivers. So I just feel like, he's going to take his shots downfield. He's not afraid. And I just like the fact that he's a quarterback who's going to trust his weapons, throw the ball to the receiver, no matter what. And, that's a big difference. I like Mitch to come in on some kind of wildcat situation, though, just to throw that out there.
I don't think Mitch going to see the field unless Nick Foles get hurt. Adi, same question to you. What's been a change for you, or has it been any difference since Nick Foles has stepped in for Mitch Trubisky?
I don't see any difference, man. I'm seeing the same old shit, man. Same thing that when Mitch was in there. I'm seeing the same thing from Nick Foles. Inaccurate passes. Offense can't do a damn thing. Nothing's happening. And I don't see any changes. Before the season, I didn't even when we did the show after the Bears traded for Nick Foles, I was not excited. I said that on the podcast. Like, I never wanted Nick Foles. I wanted Teddy Bridgewater. Yes, he didn't look good against the Bears, but the Bears are top 3 defense in the NFL. Yeah. I would like to see Nick Foles go against the Bears defense. He ain't gonna look good either. You know what I'm saying? And so, but yeah, I wanted Bridgewater. I wanted Cam Newton. That's really the guys I wanted the Bears to get. I never wanted, but I hope he shut me up. I hope he proved me wrong and get hot. But I haven't seen anything against Atlanta. We had to come back. The win and everything, he looked good that game, but so did Mr. Trubisky in the fourth quarter against the Detroit Lions. He had a nice little comeback thing too. So, I'm not seeing some big lift on the offense because of Nick Foles, and I'm just seeing the same old thing.
I agree with Adi, but I'm just saying that one play just kind of, it was just the last game of it was just last week, and I agree with Adi. It's no big difference, and that's a disappointment that Nick Foles is coming in and we still not getting no points on the board. But when we threw the ball up to Moody, I was like, okay, this boy's going to throw the ball. You know what I mean? It made me feel a little bit better. But Adi is totally right.
It really hasn't been much of a difference. The only thing I could say, I kind of agree with Dante a little bit. I think Nick Foles, under pressure, is a little more poised than Mitch Trubisky has been. I feel like he sees the field better. But you're right. The inaccuracies, the misplays are still there. I feel like that Tampa Bay game, I don't know if we would have won that game if Mitch was playing quarterback in that Tampa Bay game. Because even though we only had 19 points, Nick Foles was able to make those plays down the stretch to like, even if it was just minor, like the pass to the running back, those little plays where he saw the field and he saw like the third or fourth option where Mitch, if the first option is not there and he's trying to run and you know that it turns out to be a sack or we short and we not scoring. So it is a little difference, but it's not that much. It ain't as big as difference as you would want it to be, but it is a long season still. 6 games in, we still have 10 games left. Hopefully he can get it going. Hopefully as he gets familiarized with the rest of the Bears team in receiver, he continues to get better. And it's listen, the offense is going to have to get better. I mean, you look at their next 5 games. They got the Rams, Saints, Titans, Vikings, and Packers. Listen, the defense has been all world, but they're going to need some help in some of these games. They're going to have to score some points in these games. So they are going to have to get better. Before we go on to the next thing, real quick, start with you, Boone. Any bright spots on offense?
Like I said, I mean, that interior offensive line was a bright spot for me, but Darnell Mooney, that rookie is a bright spot for me. I kind of blame Matt Nagy offense, the reason why he's not even more productive. Like Dante was saying, I think that this dude needs to be utilized a lot more. He's like a ball player to me. Like a ball player.
What about you, Dante? Anybody?
Man, I gotta show love to Allen Robinson, man.
Yeah.
Pay this man. Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying he should be the top paid wide receiver in the league, but this man needs to get paid. He's one of the most consistent players that we have on the entire team.
Yeah.
He shows up. The ball gets in this vicinity, and he's coming up with it. So. Allen Robinson for sure.
Leads the team with 40 catches, no doubt about it. Howdy, anybody positive?
Jimmy Graham.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, people hated on the Bears about signing him. They overpaid for him. The Bears took a lot of heat for signing Jimmy Graham. This man been solid. He had that one-handed touchdown against Tampa Bay. That was spectacular. The man has like 4 touchdowns this season. So the man he's 32 years old. That's not that old. I mean, the man can, I know Gonzalez used to play with the Chiefs. And the Falcons, he played a long time. Tight ends usually last a long time.
Yeah.
So, Jimmy Graham's stepping up.
He's definitely made our red zone offense so much better. There's no question about that. Like, I'm pretty confident now. The Bears' offense sucks as a whole, but if they get in the red zone, I'm confident about them scoring in the red zone because of Jimmy Graham, because of the matchup problems he posed. There's no question about it.
Well, Jimmy Graham, would he get 10 touchdowns this season?
He could. He's got what, 4 or 5?
He got 4.
He got 4 right now, right? Yeah. So he could. It's possible he got 10 games.
26 more.
If the Bears ever could get in the red zone, he is a target. He is a threat. There's no question about it. So let's talk about the team as a whole. Adi, I'm going to start with you. Which Bears deserve the credit? What players have really, offense, defense, special team, whatever you want to name, what players have been spectacular to you right now?
Kyle Fuller.
Yeah.
Kyle Fuller, man.
It's your boy.
Against
He didn't kill it.
Yeah, I mean, against Carolina, the refs made him a victim of the pussification of American sports. When the Carolina wide receiver, Keith Kirkwood, he caught the ball, he took 2 steps, and Kyle Fuller hit him. Gave him a big hit, shoulder to shoulder, didn't hit him in the helmet.
Shoulder to shoulder. I don't care what they said. They talking about it was some kind of helmet.
No, there was no helmet. That dude that get on TV start talking that crap. What game was he watching?
They making up stuff. They was making up stuff.
That was a clean hit, and it was interception by Jalen Johnson that they wiped out because of the hitting the defenseless receiver rule. And so what's the defender supposed to do? Let the receiver catch the ball, make some juke moves, then try to hit him? That makes no sense, all right? And so, but anyway, in the Carolina Panthers had the ball towards the goal line, 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. Teddy Bridgewater looked like he about to run in for a touchdown.
Kyle Fuller with that tackle.
Kyle Fuller, open field tackle with nobody around. That was an incredible open field tackle by Kyle Fuller. The man can hit and cover. And then the very next play, DJ Moore got open against Jalen Johnson, and DJ Moore was fumbling with the ball or whatever, and then Kyle Fuller popped him, make sure that he didn't catch the ball on the second effort and everything like that.
You saw Jalen Johnson fell down on that play. He could have picked the ball.
Yeah.
He was right in front of that.
I don't know how he fell down. You know what I'm saying? So he just fell down, and so Fuller came over and cleaned it up. And so, and against the Carolina Panthers, Kyle Fuller gave up no big plays in that entire game. And he hasn't really gave up big plays this season. And a lot of, because opposing quarterbacks are avoiding his side of the field. Yeah. That's why Jalen Johnson is number 3 in the NFL in passes defended this year. They're targeting him a lot. And he had to play the game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah, that big hit on the Keyshawn Vaughn, the rookie running back from Tampa Bay. He smacked them. It was like a minute and a half to go in the second quarter. The Bears was losing 13-7. That was the turning point of the game, that big hit. Kyle Fuller, he's looking like a first ballot Pro Bowler, looking like he should be on the All-Pro team. Kyle Fuller's killer.
What about you, Dante? What Bear impressed you the most?
Man, I love that DB talk from number 7. I love that, man. Yeah, surprisingly, I'm not going with Kyle Fuller, but I do really like him. Like he's top corner in the league. But I'm gonna go with Roquan Smith. We talked about him a lot already tonight. You gotta put him. He's gonna be in the next conversation of the greatest Bears middle linebackers of all time. I mean, you talk about all the old guys. You're gonna have to put Roquan Smith right there when he gets done with his career. If I had a franchise and I'm starting picking my defense, that's the first guy I'm picking to run a defense. He had 12 tackles last game. He's already got 52 tackles on the year. He played every snap last game. Passing situations, running situations. It doesn't matter. He can go sideline to sideline, and he can do it all on defense. So my player would be Roquan.
Roquan. What about you, Boom? Most impressive Bear this season so far?
Well, just to piggyback up with Dante, I like the way Roquan Smith be talking smack. You see him on camera. He be talking.
He's having fun out there.
He's having fun out there. He's having fun out there. He's quiet on the camera, but he be talking good smack in the game. Yeah. But you know what? I guess if I gotta say one person, I was gonna say about a couple of people, but if I gotta say one person, I'm gonna go with I'll go with Pace, because in his draft he got Jalen Johnson and he got Moody. So those two rookies that really stepped up. So I think Pace, really did a good thing as far as getting Moody and Jalen Johnson in the draft. But just to add, I like Akeem Hicks. I like Cordell Patterson more than Adiwali over there. I really do like Cordell Patterson a lot. He's really dynamic to me, in my opinion.
Kick returns.
Yeah, kick returns, yeah.
I think he needs to get the ball more on offense. Let's just say that. I'm going to say that right now. I think if he had the more opportunities, he would really dominate. The boy is a tremendous athlete. It's unbelievable how athletic he is. I can't believe he, quote-unquote, can't catch. I haven't seen him have an opportunity for the Bears to really get his hands on the ball through the air. But I like our rookies. So I give Pace a small tap on the back because he made mistakes in the past. I give Pace a little 2-finger tap on the back for getting those two rookies, Jalen Johnson and Moody, out there.
No question. Those were good picks, and both of y'all, I can go with Raekwon, I can go with Kyle Fuller. Like, both of those are, the Bears defense. I can also go with Khalil Mack, but I'm going to talk about the guy that brought it all together, Akeem Hicks. His return to the Bears defense has changed everything.
You ain't lying.
His return to the defense, the Bears are all of a sudden, they're back to being that dominant front four again, getting to the quarterback, even though we're still missing Eddie Goldman, as you point out all the time about it. But Akeem Hicks is the key. Mm-hmm. He clogs up that middle. He gets sacked from the D tackle position. Mm-hmm. And when Chuck Pagano now, when he's lining Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks on the same side of the field, the Bears are just getting after quarterbacks. I mean, they get after Brady so much, Brady forgot what down it was. So that's just what it comes down to. So the defense as a whole deserves love because they're carrying the Bears right now. I'm gonna give special teams love too because they've been really good on special teams. Yeah, they've been really good on special teams. Yeah,
55-yard.
Yeah. But defensively, there's a hole. But the guy that the common factor of the guy that's back that's made everything work again is Akeem Hicks, and I give another nod to Pace for picking up Robert Quinn. So but Akeem Hicks to me is the guy that kind of eats up the linemen, and he stuffs them and he gets big time. And he's a playmaker. He always makes a big play when you need it. Adi, I'm gonna start with you on this one. Let's just get right to it. Monday Night Football, doo-doo. The Bears play the Rams. The Rams They just came off, kind of got beat up a little bit by San Francisco. The Bears 5-1. No one believes in the Bears. I mean, if you go through the National, everybody thinks the Bears is a fluke. Maybe this is the game where they can prove themselves and show themselves on the national stage in front of everybody. Everybody's going to be watching. What's your thoughts on the Bears, Rams, and who's going to win?
All right, well, you know what? Aaron Donald, he's coming off a bad game against San Francisco. Only 1 tackle, 0 sacks. But you know what? Donald and all these guys and Jalen Ramsey and even our old friend Leonard Floyd should be all right against this whack Bears offense. Any defense can be all right against the Bears offense, all right? And so, as usual, it's up to the Bears defense to save us again. That's how we got to win a game, the Bears defense. And so, the Rams 2019 third-round running back, Darrell Henderson, on Sunday Night Football. I know this guy was killing, all right? This guy's having an excellent season. He's averaging 4.8 yards per carry. That's number 10 in the NFL amongst running backs. And their head coach, Todd McShay, should have kept feeding him the ball on Sunday Night Football against San Francisco. He stopped feeding them in. They had the ball 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. And Todd McShay tells Jared Goff to throw a pass to Cooper Kupp, incompletion. They go for it on 4th down, and Jared Goff throws an interception to the cornerback, Jason Verrett, okay? And so he got cute. So I think is going to learn from that. They were down 21-9 at that point in time in the 3rd quarter. That killed their chances of coming back against the 49ers. And so they're going to play smash mouth football against the Bears on Monday Night Football with Henderson and Malcolm Brown and their 2nd-round rookie running back, Cam Akers. And then when they pass the ball, I'm sure he's going to go at Jalen Johnson. He's going to get targeted a lot, and he's coming off a bad game against the Carolina Panthers. He gave up too many yards. He had to pass interference and things like that. And so Jared Goff is coming off his worst game of the season because the San Francisco 49ers, they kept him off the field. They had the time of possession. They won that battle 38 minutes to 22, mainly because San Francisco had 122 rushing yards in that game. The Bears had 126 rushing yards in their last 3 games combined. All right? And so, will the Bears defense save a Bears offense that is the 5th worst in the NFL in passing yards per attempt and 5th worst in the NFL in rushing yards per attempt? Not this time. Not this time. The Bears will lose 26-16. Can't keep relying on the defense to win you the game.
Absolutely. The Rams head coach is Sean McVay.
Okay.
That's okay. But yes, this is going to be a tough one for the Bears. Dante, give me your thoughts on this Bears Rams and who's going to win.
I'm going to give you my thoughts on the Rams as far as the offense. You know, their offense is an old school pro style offense. So if you can get up on this team a few touchdowns, which I know is kind of easier said than done, especially with our offense. Right. But the quarterback, Goff, he's not the type of quarterback that's going to, throw the ball 30, 40 times a game. He's a pro-style quarterback. He likes to rely on play action, outside zone, get the defense moving so he can set up and pass it. He's not a type of quarterback that can, sit back there and throw it 30, 40 times. If we can get him into long yardage situations where he has to throw the ball 3rd and long, then we have a really good chance for our defense to, as bad as it sounds, set us up, good short positions, and get some turnovers. Then I think we got a really good chance. So I'm going to pick us to win this game.
Ooh,
I think.
There we go.
Keep it away from Donald. Run some screens, or run some draws. Keep him honest. Run some jet sweeps with Patterson. Get creative with the offense. Keep the ball away from him. If we can do that on offense, get a good game plan, and get Goff in some 3rd and long situations, I think we'll be fine to win the game.
I like that. Boom. What's your thoughts on this Bears versus Rams game, and who's gonna win?
You know what? I really, for a couple of years since McShay been with the Rams, I like their offense because they line up in the same way every time. Maybe 2 tight ends and then run the ball in that same set and do a play action in that same set, or they do a straight drop back in that same set. So it's very confusing for the defense because they can do multiple things in the same offensive format. So I think that would be the challenge for the Bears to, stay home and kind of react to what the Rams offense do because they can do multiple things in the same format. They're not going to give away anything based off how they lined up on the line of scrimmage. But with that being said, for the Bears offense, only thing I'm really nervous about is Aaron Donald tearing up our interior line because we got Rashad Coward in there for James Daniels, and I feel like he could really disrupt everything for the Bears. So that's the only way the Bears going to lose. If somehow Aaron Donald, I have Aaron Donald in my fantasy football team. He only gave me 3 points. Like I said, he had a bad game last week. So if he's upset about that, and he comes, eating gunpowder and ready to wreck shop, then I think the Bears have a problem. But I'm just going to take it as a trend. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take it as a trend that the Rams are slowing down, and I'm going to say the Bears are going to win for whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's a trend happening with the Rams for whatever reason. You know what I mean? I'm just going with my gut, and I'm going to go with the Bears to win this game off of guts and defense.
Ooh, no question about it. This is going to be a tough game. I look at who the Rams have ran through the NFC East. They beat the Cowboys, they beat the Eagles, and I think they beat the Redskins. Is that correct?
Yeah, the Giants, the whole NFC East.
Yeah, they lost to the Buffalo Bills, and they lost to San Francisco. So the better the competition, that's when they've lost. Now, Sean McVay, who is a really good coach, he's been with the Rams a few years now, got the experience. Now, they did beat the Bears in 19 last year, but the Bears showed the game plan. They showed the strategy of how you beat the Rams back in 2018. I mean, the game plan was so good, Bill Belichick just took it in the Super Bowl and used the same exact strategy. Take the run away and make Jared Goff beat you. And I think that's what the Bears are going to do again to Jared Goff. The thing about Jared Goff is once you put him under pressure, he will turn that ball over. And the Bears, as bad as their offense is, for some reason, they just make the game so ugly. And they make you play ugly. Like we talked about Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers look flashy and clean the last 3 games when they went that 3-game win streak. And all of a sudden they play the Bears. All of a sudden things is just not working right. They missing passes that they know. The Bears have a way of making you play like you're disrupted. It's just something about the way what they, of course, is the defense. I mean, they did the same thing to Tampa Bay. I mean, Tampa Bay spanked Green Bay last week. And the week before, you see how the Bears just slowed them down and just made them play awful football. I mean, people after they was questioning, is Tom Brady still got it because of what happened with the Bears. So the Bears have a way, and I feel like they're going to do the same thing in this game. It's going to be another ugly win for the Bears. Don't get me wrong. I feel like Aaron Donald's going to have a big game. Despite Aaron Donald's big game, he's going to sack Foles a couple times. But I feel like we're going to turn Jared Goff over a couple times. I feel like we're going to get a couple picks. We're going to ugly the game up, and the Bears will win 21-17 in another ugly victory, which will bring the Bears to 6-1.
Man, I hope I'm wrong.
And it's just a matchup. The Bears defense. They like Dante said, the Bears defense will keep you in the game, and then the Bears, believe it or not, I know going into that Carolina game, they led the league in fourth quarter points.
Yeah.
So they, as terrible and as awful as their offense is, they find a way to score, kind of like when you need them to score. Like
they had 3 points in the fourth quarter against Carolina last week.
That was last week, so they might not be first no more. I have to look at that. But they were first going into that game, partly due because they was behind.
Coming back from huge deficits.
So absolutely. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a tough game. Monday Night Football, everybody's going to be watching. I'm going to start with you, Boone, with this last question we got today. On a scale of 1 to 10, what number do you give what chance do you give the Bears of making the playoffs?
I really wanted to say, I wanted to jump up all the way high, but this is a tough little couple of games coming for the Bears, like the next 4 games. It's going to be extremely tough. It's going to separate the great teams from the above average teams. But, I'm going to stick with my gut. You know what I mean? I'm going to stick with what I am, which is a true Bears fan. And I'm just going to say 8.5.
Oh, 8.5.
I'm up there, yeah.
Okay. Dante, what about you? On a scale of 1 to 10?
Man, you know what? Yeah, I'm looking at all the records in the NFC and how bad the NFC East is. So they're going to have somebody come out of there, but they're not going to have any wild cards coming out of there.
Yeah.
So looking at that gives us a really good chance. So I'm going to give us an 8. I'm pretty high right now too. If we can get this Rams win and be 6-1, then that's going to make things a lot easier for us. Going to make things a lot more manageable for us to get to the playoffs. So I'm really high right now with you, Boom. Maybe you got me on the 0.5, but I'm gonna go.
Hey, Adi, what's your on a scale of 1 to 10? What chance you get the Bears to make the playoffs?
I give them a 6 out of 10.
Okay,
I give them a 6.
Bears jersey.
Yeah. now, here's why. See, the Bears will be underdogs in 5 out of their last 10 games.
Which is good for us.
Yeah. 5 last 10. They're going to be underdogs.
We was underdogs every game. I mean, you look at the Vegas betting. The Bears have been underdogs.
We was underdogs at 10. It's better when they underdogs.
It's better when they underdogs. But I'm saying at 5 of the last 10 games, they really looking at the schedule that they should lose. I'm just going to say it like that. Okay. So because they got to play the Rams, the Saints, the Titans, and 2 against Green Bay. But they should be favorites against the Lions, the Houston Texans, the Jaguars, and the 2 against the Minnesota Vikings. And so if they do go 5-5 for the rest of the season, all you guys will be correct in y'all Bears preseason prediction. All you guys said they would win 10 games before the season started. But
halfway there.
Now, if the Bears let Deshaun Watson come in here in Week 14 and get his revenge against the Bears and lose against him, and then if they don't sweep both the Lions and the Vikings, the Bears can end up doing my prediction and finishing the season at 8-8. And that's not going to cut it to make the playoffs in the NFC. You've got so many teams. You got the whole NFC West with the Cardinals, 49ers. Seahawks going to win that division. Yeah. Okay. And what team am I forgetting? Cardinals, 49ers, and Rams. Okay, all 3 of them teams are in the midst for a wild card position.
The Cardinals, man.
The Cardinals are 4-2.
They're 4-2 right now.
They just beat the Cowboys.
They are 4-2.
They beat the 49ers already this season. The Cardinals are one of them pleasant surprise teams in the film right now. That boy Kyler Murray is killing. You got Hopkins, DeAndre Hopkins is doing his thing. Yeah. So they're going to be in the midst for a wild card spot. New Orleans and Tampa Bay, one of them teams is not going to win the division, but both them teams are going to make the playoffs. Most likely.
Well, we'll see.
Most likely. I would put my money that both them teams. I would bet money that both them teams will make the playoffs. And so one of them teams gonna get a wild card. So that's 5 teams going for 3 wild card spots. Now, can the Bears win the NFC North? Can they outlast the Packers? Now the Packers just got smacked by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so that's the question.
Bears beat?
I don't think so because
that's a tiebreaker they got now over Tampa Bay.
They got a tiebreaker over Tampa Bay, and if they beat the Rams, they have a tiebreaker against them. Yeah. So, but the thing is, the Bears are in danger of going. If they lose to the Rams on Monday night, they go on a 3-game losing streak because they got the Rams, the Saints, the Titans. Yep. Okay, so that wouldn't be good right there. So. Like I said, I say 6 out of 10. These 3 games, Rams, Saints, Titans, is a huge stretch. Got to beat the Rams.
Yeah, I'm with Adi though. I'm a 6-2. I'm a 6-2 because listen, just because of the next few games, until I see the offense start putting up points, I think we can get by the Rams without scoring.
How many points is the Saints going to score on us?
They got Michael Thomas back, bro.
Yeah, they
got Alvin Kamara.
They'll be back. Listen, some team, when you playing against good offensive teams, our defense is going to be able to compete and do well, but eventually they're going to start scoring. So until I see the Bears being there, now if the Bears can find a way to get 20 to 25 points a game, then I'll be like 10. They're getting in. There's no question about it. They're getting in. But they have to be able to score because the Titans, they show they can run the ball, and Derrick Henry's going to run on anybody, and Ryan Tannehill's playing good football. The Saints, we'll see. Drew Brees does look a lot. I don't know. We'll see. He can't get that ball down the field. Now, maybe it's early. Maybe his arm ain't warmed up yet. Maybe as the season goes on, he will. But, and of course, the Packers. We got to play the Packers twice. So, them games, we're going to have to score points. We cannot be 3-and-out, 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 3-and-out. So, until I see the Bears' offense be some type of consistent. I'm not even saying they have to be a prolific, high up-tempo scoring offense. We just have to be competent. We just have to be able to, when the play is there, make it. And Matt, like Dante alluded to, Matt Nagy, when the offense got to flow, don't try no flea flicker. Okay? When you can't run the flea flicker if you can't run the ball. No one's going to fall for it. Okay? If you can't run the ball, you cannot try to flea flicker. It's not going to work. Okay?
I think the Bears, can, even with an incompetent offense, the Bears' offense is not going to be confident this season. I gave up hope on that. That's not going to happen. The Bears can still win 5 games out of the 10 with an incompetent offense. They can beat the Jaguars in Houston. They can sweep the Vikings and get a game against the Lions. So, so the offense, we'll see. I just gave up hope on that.
You know what? I'm tired of everybody just thinking that the Green Bay going to sweep us every time. You go when Lovie Smith got the season when he got hired, he said we're going to beat Green Bay. All right, it's time we beat. After seeing what Tampa Bay Buccaneers did to Green Bay,
they got offense though. They got Tom Brady. They got Chris Godwin. They got Mike Evans. They got Ronald Jones running the ball very well. We don't have a offense. Even when we had Lovie Smith, we had Thomas Jones running the ball real good. We had Matt Forte running the ball real good. So we don't have any.
But that game turned around on defense. When Aaron Rodgers threw that first pick 6, and when he threw that second pick, he was not the same player. Matter of fact, Ndamukong Suh was the man who changed that game around, and it had nothing to do with Tampa Bay's offense. Aaron Rodgers was checked out of that game, and Ndamukong Suh had a couple of words to him. He was not stepping into his throws, and he got gunshot. He got gunshot. He was not the same Aaron Rodgers. So I agree with you with the offense, but we can still do a lot of things with our defense and special teams.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to see the defense. I'm excited to watch our defense. Yeah. Man, I love it though. When you talking about Hicks and Mack on the same side, then you got Robert Quinn on the other side, Roquan Smith doing his thing, Kyle Fuller, Eddie Jackson. Hey, I love it. You know what I'm saying? I hope they can just keep balling out.
But the Bears right now they're in a good position. They're 5-1, despite playing like so. I know you lost hope for the offense, but maybe they will pick it up as the season goes on. Once again, they're not going to be the best offense by any means, but if they can just be competent, hold the ball, run some clock, get some points, I think that'll give them a good chance to win. They'll be in every game. They'll have a chance to win every game, no doubt about it. And let's not forget, there is an extra playoff team this year, so that makes the Bears' chances even greater this year of making the playoffs. You've been watching Spectator Sporting. Shout out to our guests in the building, Mr. Boone Apata and number 7, Mr. Dante. My co-host, Ade Wally. This has been episode number 8, the Roquan Smith edition. Until then, in the meantime, in between time, we out. Peace.